Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This week we are continuing the work on the 2010 WRX. For those of you that are just joining us, we're doing a full monster build on a 2010 WRX wagon. We've got a full STI swap, doing an EMTRON ECU, big turbo, pretty much the whole 9 yards. This week we are going to be focusing on wiring up the EMTRON. I'll kind of take you through the ropes on what that looks like. It did take a long time to get this done. I've got over 900 gigs worth of video footage. I am going to shorten that up for you guys so that way I don't bore you too much. But I want to make sure that I cover pretty much the full install. So I will speed it up. I'll try to cut out a little of the redundancy, but give you guys the overall picture on what that looks like. So I'm going to spin the camera around, kind of walk you through what the finished product looks like. And then we'll kind of take you along the journey on what that looks like. Alright, so this is pretty much the finished product. I do have one more connector here that's for the lambda control, but I need to purchase a new connector. I got the wrong keyway, so I got to order that. This is all the Tessa tape, all the factory harnesses that I did lengthen up and put into the connectors on there. These DTM connectors are just additional wires that I did not use, but I didn't want those kind of free floating, so I just terminated those, put them in a connector in case I need them in the future. Same thing with this here. I do have the two CAN bus wires here. So this 2-pin, I don't know why I'm struggling. 2-pin one is for CAN bus 1, factory CAN bus. So this one's going to be terminated with the resistor. I got to order that also, just because the factory ECU has the resistor built in. And the KV8 does not, so that's just for the CAN bus. This one here is CAN bus 2, so that's all EMTRON stuff. These will be wired up to the EMTRON digital dash, along with the EMTRON EGT module. So once I get that all terminated, those will basically run where they need to be. But this is what it looks like, all finalized, with the exception of that one connector. The mounting feet here, I am going to put some spacers, probably 1/4 inch, just so it gives it a little bit of extra room. When this mounts, it's very close. I mean, I can put it in here, no issues. I just want a little bit of a breather room between the wire and the plate if I can. But that's basically what that looks like. I'll get you guys all finalized with the installation, and then we'll proceed with the video on the overall wiring project. Alright, and that's it, rock solid. Basically flap the carpet back on there. There's a push pin that goes there. But that's pretty much it. Everything fits just like a glove, where it's supposed to, out of the way. I do have the connectivity cable there, which uses an Ethernet. Plug that right into the laptop, and that's how you basically tune this ECU. For those of you that want to stick around, I will show you exactly what's involved with lengthening the wires, pinning the wires, getting the EMTRON all wired up and installed. It is a little bit lengthy. I did try to speed it up and cut out a lot of the video that was kind of redundant, and to kind of give you the pretty much gist of the overall process. But with that said, let's get started. Alright, so I'm going to start by moving the RCA cables and the remote base gain out of this area. For now, I am keeping the DCD spider control just to get us up and running, but eventually I will be switching that over 100% to the EMTRON. I believe I can get some of that logic to work and control the DCCD, and then I will be removing that unit. But for now, we'll use it. So I am going to be labeling all these wires to the factory pin number, so that way if I ever need to make any modifications or even just look back at the schematic, I'll know exactly what each wire is. So for that, I do have Brothers P-Touch. This is brand new, I just purchased it. Which model is this? Oh, right here. This is PT-E510, and what this will do is it'll print on these Brother heat shrink tubes. So you basically label the tubes and then you heat shrink them onto the wires. Kind of neat. Alright, so I've got my mil-spec Tefzel 20 gauge, and then I've got my crimp connectors that I use. I get these from ProWire. I don't know if I will have enough here, but if I need to order some more, I will. Hey guys, welcome back. Yesterday I tried doing the wiring for the ECU with those terminals that I've got, but they were not working out. So I did buy some new crimps. I've got some butt style connectors or crimps from J-Ready. These ones are a little bit different, so they don't have the open barrel. This is closed barrel, and basically you got to get one of their special crimpers, which I have here. It is a ratcheting setup. This will do anything from 26 gauge all the way up to 12 gauge. So I haven't used these before. They look very nice, and I'm hoping to have better results. Get this wrapped up. So let's go along. Very nice. I don't know if you can see this, but it's basically got two indents, and the pull test is nice. So that's going to work beautiful. My only concern is I think these ECU wires are like 18 gauge, and this is only good enough for 20 gauge. So, I may have to wait for the larger size to come in. I got these off Amazon. They were supposed to be delivered today, but I literally just got an email saying that they are delayed. That's been happening a lot. Thank you, Amazon. Their monthly or annual subscription prices are increasing, but their delivery times are growing, which is not nice. So I guess we're kind of stuck here again until our shipment comes, which I believe is tomorrow. So we'll put this on pause. We'll pick up on another project. All right, back here on the next day, the larger pins did come in, so hopefully this will give us the size. It already looks a little bit bigger, so I think this is going to work out. So hopefully we can get this wrapped up and get the ECU installed, get most of this wiring done. I'm going to swap to a little bit larger gauge wire also, just so it kind of matches the factory stuff a little bit better. I thought I had 18 gauge wire, but I don't, so I'm just going to stick with my 20 gauge. I think that'll be large enough for this stuff anyways. Typically you run around 22 gauge, 20 gauge, so I don't think we'll have any issues. When I go to like the wideband, I may step up to 18 or 16, but for all this other sensor wires, I think 20 will be fine. All right, got my blanket down there for comfort. Let's get to work.
come crashing down. All around this empty town, we're searching for the lost and found. But you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air, like a blazing flare. Don't stare, cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over.
Something that I think I may have done that you gotta be very cautious of is make sure you get the pin numbers right. I think I may have skipped a number. So I'm gonna have to go back and make sure that I've got all the correct ones, because that can cause a big headache later on. Little secret about me, I'm colorblind. So that's why I try to take my time on these wires and label every single one of them. And I cut one of the wires from the row below me because I thought it was beside me. So that is my problem. So that number is wrong. I don't know what color they are. I'm gonna go get the wife because I don't want to mess this up. Okay, so these are the ones I cut. I cut this one on an accident. I can see that it's darker than this one, right? What color is this?
Gray.
And what color is this?
Looks pink.
Okay.
Cream.
So I need to match them on this one. See those two?
The one in your right hand.
This one?
You trying to match them with that?
These two wires go with these two wires, and I need to know which one's which.
Okay, I'm gonna need to take a closer look.
Okay.
This is not gonna stab me, right?
No, it's not hooked up.
So it's this or this, and then it's this.
Well, these wires are white, so these ones aren't going to match. It's going to be down here. See how those two are different colors?
That's much easier. Alright, so this one,
The longer one?
the right one, this one,
Yep.
is this one, the shorter.
Okay.
And then this one is the shorter here.
Okay. Keep your thumb on that long one. No, you don't have to do that. This one. Alright, so then that. So why not? Okay.
That one's the short.
Goes with this one right here?
The short one, yeah.
Okay.
I'm just making sure they're very close in color. Yeah.
The short one?
Mm-hmm.
Which is this one? Okay. Cool. Thank you. Alright, so that one is good. This one is the one I didn't mean to cut. It's not A14. It's going to be 25. Gotta love being colorblind.
Eric.
Yo, dude.
I was gonna offer to be a good friend, but I bailed on you. I just dropped my stuff off at the powder coater.
I knew it.
And your stuff is like almost ready. But he needed like another 20 minutes, and I've got like an hour of traffic, so I backed out. I was gonna wait and get it for you, but I backed out, to be honest.
Well, guess what? You're now on camera for being an asshole.
Dude, I did. I was all for it. I'm like, well, did he pay? He's like, no, but he can sell me. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll take it. I'm like, I don't think they'll care. And then he's like, all right, yeah, it'll be like 20, 30 minutes. And I was like, ooh.
Got it. So I'm not worth the 30 minutes. Got it.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's not that. It's just, it's already 5:15, and it's literally, I just mapped it home. It says an hour home. So I was like, I'm going to just. But,
no worries.
Dude, nice guy, but he's far out here.
Yeah. Well, honestly, he's like, I don't know, 10 minutes from my house.
Oh, shit. Yeah, he's close for you.
Yep.
He's far for me. Yeah, well, I saw your parts, though. They look nice.
Do they do?
Yeah, he showed them to me. They were in the oven baking, just kind of cooling down, I think, and they look good.
Cool.
Yeah. But, all right, well, I will see you tomorrow, and yeah, pretty much you caught me. I was going to be nice, and then I guess deep down I'm not a nice person.
No problem. I'll see you tomorrow, man.
All right, sounds good. Bye.
Bye. All right, so the longer ones that I've done so far, they're going to the ECU. But the shorter ones are wires that the diagrams say I don't need, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these into DTM connectors, so that way, one, they stay nice and organized, but two, if I need to use them in the future, I'll still have access. I'll just pin the DTM connector and I'm good to go. That way I don't have loose wires hanging around everywhere. I want everything tidy. I'm out of labels. I wasn't expecting to go through a whole thing of them. Well, let me see how soon I can get these. Can't get them local, so gotta order them on Amazon. It says tomorrow. So for now, we could pin these wires. How about that?
Felt like this is just a must. Put me in perspective, I'm the deepest in the cut. Everybody tuning in, but this is just for us now. We know I ain't ballin' yet. Hoes wanna holler, oh no, I don't call them back. Girl, let me see you hold it down, we gon' have a blast. Cause I just wanna know what you gonna do with all of that. Ain't gotta say a word, I know what's up. You can have it all, watch me rip it off. I'll admit it, you got me feeling hella loved. Even when it's going down, know that we gon' live it up. Young shot caller, always been a baller. Know that you the one, I can feel it in my heart. Yeah, I won't stop charging, we go and come harder. I can see you and I, way beyond the stars, girl. I can never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right.
Alright, so for another specialty tool, I've got the JR Ready DTM crimp tool. The head, so this one you can actually get on Amazon. The heads come separately. You can get the smaller ones that don't really use the interchangeable heads, but I like the one with the interchangeable heads because you could change this depending on what you're trying to crimp. This head here is a TH1A. It does 12, 16, and 20 DTM or DT connectors. So with this, you just change the gauge of wire. It goes from 12 up to 20 or down to 26 gauge. And then you change this head depending on what kind of pin you're using. So most DTMs are 20 gauge pins. So you'll just want to change it to the red 20 gauge. DT, I believe, is 16, and then DTP is 12 gauge, so they're just larger pins. So I've got 20 gauge wire and I've got the DTM 20 gauge pins. So this is set. I've cut all these to the same length so I can put those on a 8-pin DTM connector. And then I'm gonna have that basically allocated for the B connector from Subaru. Now these other two, I'm not sure if they're gonna have independent ones, but I do know that 8 is one of the larger connectors. I think they only make one more, which has, actually I think they go up to 12 pins, but if I have too many here, then I'll kind of already populate that. If I find that I don't have too many more, I can just swap this out. These aren't permanent. You just depin it and I can swap it out to a larger connector. These DTM pins, they have little spot holes, so you just want to make sure the wire bottoms out in there and it's not butted up against the edge. You want to have maybe a fingernail's worth of distance of the sheathing of the wire and the connector. Something that I almost always mix up is which barrel connectors go with which end of the connector. In my last video you saw that I mistakenly did the wrong end in the engine bay, but it worked out to be fine. These ones do the same thing, so I just look it up on Google and they typically just give you a guide or a picture of what they look like. So the female connector goes with the male pins and the male connector goes with the barrel female-like pins. So I guess an easy way to try to remember that is just opposites. For this one, I'm going to use the male plug. Since all the other ones that go into ECU are also male, I just want to keep that uniform. So with the male plug, we got to use the round female terminals. Right now I'm just checking the depth of how much I've stripped back. Some tools have a depth like adapter on here, which I don't have. That tool will be very nice to have. For these, you put the non-crimped end into here, push it all the way in, and then I like to squeeze this until it kind of gets a little bit of resistance. Other people like to put the pin on the wire and then just kind of drive that pin up in here. As long as you're getting a good crimp, doesn't really matter. Just want to make sure you're not crimping the wrong end of the barrel connector. Now these shells are numbered. They're right above the edge, so I'm just going to try to put these in numerical order and then just put it in here same way. Alright, we've got all 8 pins in there. And then we got these little locks. Done. Now I believe they recently came out with caps for these, so when I place another order for some wiring stuff, I may just get a cap for this. The only issue is if I have to use it, even one of these wires, the cap won't work. You can put these in. They make little like pins that can go in here, and this could act as a cap. Typically do that when it's not populated, but we'll see. Maybe I'll just leave it on there for now. Alright, so I can start to populate these pins into here. I think I don't have the right connector on this one. Interesting. That one goes there. goes there. That one goes there. I think I got the wrong key for this one. Whew. So I need to order that too. Yep, wrong key. Now when I'm done this, I will probably wrap these up so that way they just look clean and uniform. I'll lay it on top of the harness like this, that way it's easy access. Kind of like this deal. That's how it'll be. So, let's pop this off. Ow. Get my seat back. Alright, connector A is this one. Connector B is this one. Connector C is this one. And connector D is this one. So since this one's further away, what are those? We can do these ones.
Turn toward me and look so weak. I've never seen you with such tired eyes. And everything we said we'd be, we just traded for a suit coat and a tie. And underneath the rows of trees, I will see you where the ocean meets the sky. Under your toes, the fire grows. You are ready for a different kind of life. You're shining forward, the wind is cold. You must return to the wild. You're shining forward, the wind is cold. You must return to the wild. out. Now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame. I will let you in this game. Take me out when I'm down. 'Cause with you I'm safe and sound. 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 Bring that beat back. Are you ready?
Alright, so I don't know if I shared this with you. This is a different version of electrical tape. It's not plastic or rubbery, it's actually like cloth-like. It's called Tessa tape. And this is a lot more resistant to heat and abrasion. And it's not going to melt and give you all that goo on the wires that you're accustomed to over time, especially with the heat. So that's why I'll be wrapping them all in here, just to give them that layer of abrasion protection. And also the high temp rating so it doesn't melt and cause a mess.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes.
Perfect. Look at that. I'm happy with that. Alright, well, I'm glad I was able to get that wrapped up. I'm just going to do those extra DTM connectors. Get that 4-pin connector, put the boot on that. I do need to put resistors on the CAN 1 2 wires. That's why I have those out there. Because we are getting rid of the factory ECU and going with the EMTRON. Factory ECU has the resistor built in for the CAN bus. The EMTRON does not, so we actually have to add that DTM with the built-in resistor. I have some here that I did purchase, but these are the male ends, and I have the male ends on that. I do have a set of 2 female ones somewhere here that I was going to use for the FRS, so I'm just going to locate those and use those for now, and then probably use these on the FRS. But I just need to put that resistor in there that'll tie that up, and then that CAN bus 2 wire setup is going to be for the EGT module, which is ran underneath the hood. So I'm going to run that. I got the last connector for the ECU that I need to do. That's for the lambda controller, or the oxygen sensor. Again, this has 2, but we're only using 1 in the downpipe. So I have to run those wires and that connector, and that'll pretty much finalize everything with the ECU. I've got my little connector port here. I've got my connector port right here, Ethernet. Drilled a hole and mounted that so it's nice and clean. This can still shut, but that's all finalized. Just basically plug the Ethernet into here, and then the other end of the Ethernet into the laptop, and that's how you communicate with this. No USB or anything like that. All right, well, I appreciate you guys' patience. I know this was a long journey for the ECU. It took a lot of wiring. I had to do it twice essentially, because the first time I didn't fasten the harness where it needed to be. So it was too long and it was interfering with the edge of that metal retainer or metal plate, protector plate. So I had to cut all the wires, as you saw, re-terminate those and get them where they're supposed to be seated, but it came out perfect. Everything is super clean. That Tessa tape is going to give us that abrasion resistance that we need. Shouldn't have any issues. All right, well, if you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe. Drop a comment below if you have any questions, or if there's anything else that you want to see more specifics on. But with that said, we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.